What up? It's your tall guy. We're back. We're back at Universal Studios Hollywood because this is probably going to be one of my favorite update videos to do for HHN 2023. If you guys haven't heard already, Naughty Dog's The Last of Us is coming to the event this year. Now let me tell you, I'm gonna hold this maze really close to me because it is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've played the video game, I've watched the show, I love it all. I'm already sporting the new merch that came out. Here's a quick look at it. As we go into the park and check out all the other updates, I'm gonna spend a little bit more time than usual talking about The Last of Us specifically. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna hold this maze really close to me because I am a big fan. I'm gonna be talking about the facade, what it's gonna be, a little bit of the story, characters that are gonna come, just to give you an overall aspect of what to expect essentially. I'm so excited. And then at the end of the video, we're gonna be talking about the HHN ticketing prices that came out, all the options. We're gonna break it down real quick, as simple as possible, help you out for your visit. You guys really came through on the last update video, the best update video I've done by far. You guys came, showing the support, and I really appreciate it. Without y'all, I am nothing. So drop a like, comment down below, let me know if you're excited for The Last of Us to come. Let's get to it. Alrighty everybody, so I wanted to kick off by starting to talk about The Last of Us. Don't worry, I'm not gonna show my face the whole time. I'm gonna throw in some clips in B-roll so you don't have to watch me. But hear me out. So it has been confirmed by John Murdy that the maze coming to Horror Nights this year is based off of Naughty Dog's PlayStation's The Last of Us. Not a big difference from the TV show to the video game. When I say you don't have to play the video game, trust me, you don't have to play it. You can honestly just watch the TV show and get as much out of it. There's a lot of similarities. Obviously the show has done, you know, its own twists and turns on some things, but for the most part the story stays the same. Alrighty, so now I want to talk about the facade of the maze. For a while, a lot of us did not know what was gonna be here. The facade kind of threw us off until the maze was announced. Something just kind of snapped in my head, honestly, right away. From my playthroughs throughout the video game, the facade really does look like a checkpoint, led by maybe one of the Fedras. Fedra is basically the new government in the US that tries to enforce government rules upon civilians. And then you got those rebels out there that try to stop Fedra. But I believe the facade is a checkpoint zone. Not necessarily a quarantine zone, but it's a checkpoint zone that's gonna set in Boston, first of all. Now it's interesting taking a look at the facade, getting a closer look actually. You see some doorways off to the left and right. I believe there are gonna be some scare actors out there. I don't think any clickers or infected are gonna be out there in front of the maze. I think it's gonna be some Federal guards out there. Maybe some fireflies have taken over the checkpoint zone, who knows, but I think we're gonna get some kind of interaction out there with some scare actors. Now I'm gonna jump into one of my favorite segments when an announcement comes to Horror Nights, is John Murdy's open Q&A on Twitter. So here are some screenshots from Twitter of fans asking him some questions and him answering. First of all, Daniel asked, how much involvement and influence did Naughty Dog themselves had on the creative aspects of the house? Murdy replied, totally involved in every step. Just like Netflix being involved and the Duffer Brothers being involved in Stranger Things, definitely seeing Naughty Dog heavy influence in this maze come to life. When it comes down to the mask, the set pieces, it's gonna be great. Alright, now this is a good one. Alexander asks, with The Last of Us, one of the core breathing hearts of the music by Gustavo Santaolalla, I mispronounced that, how much are you pulling from the game soundtrack? Murdy replies, love that music, it's going to be a big part of the experience, which is great. That guitar strums, there's just a lot of great iconic music in the game. If you guys haven't played the game, you also hear it in the show. It's very influenced in the show as well. So just hearing that guitar strum, other little sound pieces here and there, it's gonna be great to, you know, hear. So if you're a big fan, you're gonna appreciate this maze. Alright, this is a really good one. So Movie Howler asks, what is your favorite chapter from The Last of Us video game, and which has been the greatest pleasure to bring to life? So Murder replies, I really dig the Pittsburgh section and totally agreed with Neil with that being the big focus, has everything you want in a house. Now, this is very interesting. So that tells me that Murdy is gonna throw a lot of the Pittsburgh scenes into this house. So what that means, all right, so in the video game, this is where Joe and Ellie are passing by to try to get to Kansas City, I believe. Now Pittsburgh is just totally ran over by hunters who are just ransacking civilians passing by, taking all of their stuff, killing them perhaps. And this is also where we meet Henry and Sam, the two brothers of the game. It's really an emotional and intense part of the video game. All right, and our last tweet comes from Moist Wegta, I cannot pronounce that. Also, for Joe and Ellie, are you using lookalikes or masked characters? Murdy replies, no mask for them. So that means we are gonna get face characters. Now, if you recall, way back in 2019, I believe, when we got the Us maze from Jordan Peele, Lupita was actually a masked character. Now, it kind of looked funny, and it got a lot of backlash, to which they got rid of the mask and decided to get some face characters for it. Now, it's gonna be really great to see Joel and Ellie face characters here, coming out of the maze and interacting with us. But that also brings me to think, what other characters can we potentially get as face characters here besides Joe and Ellie? Well, most iconically, we could potentially get Tess as a face character, one of Joe's longest companions, especially Tommy. Who cannot forget about Tommy now? Tommy is Joe's brother. He's been with them since day one of the outbreak, but departed and whatnot and reunited eventually. And lastly, maybe Bill from the interaction we get from Bill's town once we reach that part of the video game. All right, now let's talk about the type of infected we're potentially going to be seeing in this maze. For sure, clickers. That's what they're heavily advertising on this year. The clickers. The sound of these damn things are terrifying. To play against them in the game, terrifying. If you know, you know. Even in the damn show, they're terrifying. We also have runners and stalkers. They're the evolution before they reach clickers. They're able to see, they run at you, and they stalk you. So now, to get to the final, well, I can't say the final form, but Big Joe himself, the bloater. The bloater infected. It's at least 7 feet tall, from what I believe. He's a massive fungi infected person who has just been overgrown with the infection for years. Strong, can lift a person with one hand, rip you apart. It's a scary thing to face, to be face to face with. So with all that being said, guys, genuinely, I'm excited for this maze to come to the event. It's gonna probably be my favorite maze of the event. I'm just gonna say that now. I don't know what else is coming, but for right now, I'm just so happy to be an HHN fan. If you're a fan of the video game, you know how excited I am right now. Let's get on to the rest of the updates. So our rumored, not confirmed, is either La Lechuza or El Cucuy. It's right here. Not many updates to cover, guys. I believe the facade is completely done. At this point, probably within the next month, we're gonna see these walls come down, just like last year, and just see the flooring and the outer workings of the maze. We're still waiting on the announcement from Mr. Murdy, whether we get it at Midsummer Scream, which don't forget, you can get your tickets now, or in the near future. And in a quick update, guys, Animal Actors is officially gone. Demoing has begun for the whole building. Up next is special effects show, but in the arms of an angel, wherever you are, Animal Actors. Fast and Furious rumored, here we come. No update on the exit of the maze. We still got the tall black wall right there. No detailing to it yet. Oh, actually, if I zoom in right there, you might see just a little bit of detail. Hold up. Just kidding, guys. That was actually just a part of the actual building that's the facade's leaning on. But, you know, the only thing we're gonna come back here to wait and see for is any scare zone activity. We can't really peep in there much anymore. Facade is just about done. So now we're just gonna wait on some scare zone activity to come to life. here on French Street. Alrighty, so I am on my way to the studio tour to get that coverage from that point of view. If you guys are still sticking around, I'm obviously doing something right. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like, and don't be afraid to comment down below. I love talking to all my peeps out there, followers who have any questions related to Universal, any other theme park, especially Horror Nights. As a former Horror Nights scare actor, I love talking Halloween. So subscribe down below, comment down below, let me know, you guys. Now let's talk about our maze way out yonder where Killer Clowns in Outer Space was last year. Rumored this year to be Holidays in Hell. Almost seems pretty official because the facades look very, very alike to each other. Here's the POV studio tour. But an interesting development is happening in Soundstage 15, guys. So there's some construction work going on in Soundstage 15. A lot of it seems to be rumoring that there's a maze going on in there. Now, this brings me to my conclusion of this. Alright, so with the demolition of the special effects show happening, making its way for the rumored Fast and Furious roller coaster, that leaves us with no entertainment in that area for this year, which was Jabberwockies last year. Leads me to believe that they're going to be throwing something in the Waterworld stage show area. If that happens, we do lose the maze there. Now, if we do get a maze right over there, that's the potential replacement spot. We still get 9 mazes just like last year. So if we count it off, we got Transformers, Rumored Holidays, Soundstage 15, Last of Us down here. I'm including Terror Tram, that's 5. Upper Lot, the former Walking Dead area, Hudson Gate, I don't know what you want to call it. Rumored La Lechuza. And then we got the 2 tents over at Curious George, which makes 9 mazes. So I'm pretty sure whatever is going on in Soundstage 15 is going to be huge. We got 2 sound stages for the event, which is really great actually. Now I wholeheartedly agree. Stranger Things always deserves a soundstage maze. You know, just looking at what the past years gave us, season 1 and season 2 were really big hits, and the production value that went into that maze was really threw you into the TV show, which is great. So it's just a rumor, and as all of us content creators love to say, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I hate those 3 words. Alright, you guys, overlooking the Curious George parking lot, the Chucky maze, it's confirmed by Murdy that this is it. So the facade, just imagine it being a bunch of Chucky good guy dolls on the facade with no paint yet, no texture, no details. Looking the same as last week. It's gonna be a while maybe until I revisit this zone again, because this one's taking its time for sure. Overlooking this maze, we still got that suspicious booth right there. We can't really see, but we got the fencing around it. Possibly the rumor is it's gonna be related to Universal Monsters, maybe an original IP maze, something to do with Paris, whether it's, you know, the monsters or maybe the catacombs. But until next time, guys, we'll revisit this in the near future. We're gonna have to wait and see. Alright, so let's talk about Horror Nights ticketing system and what's available, how much they are, and what's new. First and foremost, Horror Nights has adopted the Super Nintendo World Effect for early entry. What do I mean by that? What was free is now not free. While I talk about this, here's some Halloween Horror Nights 2022 B-roll for you to enjoy. Now, early entry. It was a free, you know, thing to use last year. You could come into the park with any ticket you had as early as 5 o'clock to knock out lower lot mazes. Now, the Super Nintendo World was the first time we've seen this being used as an early admission ticket. Now, for Horror Nights, an early admission ticket could go as low as $10 and as high as $20 to $25 per night. Usually you see that $20 to $25 within the October month and the $10 in the month of September. Now, this early entry system is mainly targeted for the general admission ticket buyers. Essentially, if you didn't think Horror Night prices didn't go up, they kind of did go up if you want to use early entry. They just increased your ticket by $10 to $20 more. Still a great value to take advantage of, guys, if you're one of those who try to knock out all the mazes. If you don't really care and you just love the vibe of Horror Nights, don't bother, you know, buy a general admission ticket. for $74 that range up to, I believe the highest it goes is 100 and something, 110 I believe, throughout October. Just enjoy the night. Interesting turn of events, Super Nintendo World is actually going to be open during Halloween Horror Nights, but only to specific ticket holders. Now, the only way you can get into Super Nintendo World is if you purchase the after 2 p.m. day and night combo ticket, normal, or the express after 2 p.m. day and night combo ticket. The ticket that's offered without express after 2 p.m. day and night combo ticket starts at $149. Now, if you do want to upgrade to the unlimited express, I'm sorry, normal Universal Express, not unlimited, that starts at $329. Now, those are great value tickets. Not to mention that both of those tickets also come with early entry to Horror Nights, so you don't even have to buy early entry on top of that ticket. To get into Super Nintendo World, access starts between 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. My guess is it can be open by the time you get here, like around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. It may be a walk-in access, or maybe it's a crowded day and they're using virtual queue only. But at any point, if you just want to walk into Super Nintendo World with those 2 tickets only, it is only during 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that is an option. Now, to talk about the Universal Express and Universal Unlimited ticket option. Those 2 tickets do not come with Super Nintendo World access. It is strictly for Horror Night purposes only to get into the mazes. The one-time use for Universal Express to each maze starts at $209. The unlimited, which I recommend maybe, starts at $250, just $50 more. So, plan ahead, guys. Really do your research onto what ticket packages you want to do. Now let's talk about the ultimate experience. The RIP tour is essentially the VIP tour for Horror Nights. Now, tickets for that start at $379 a person. When people ask me, do you recommend it? I did it for my first time last year. I have a video up on it, and I'm gonna be doing it again this year, first night. So expect that video to come out eventually. But it is an awesome experience. You get an awesome tour guide to take you to each and every maze, give you some background history about the maze, which is nice. You get a special priority line to get into the maze. You don't go through the express, you get your own RIP line, which puts you in right away. You also get valet parking, and on top of that, a nice buffet dinner to enjoy throughout the night. Now, what's funny about this is it does not come with entry to Super Nintendo World. When you make your RIP ticket reservations, it's gonna ask you a time to select what time you want to arrive and start your tour at. Personally, I don't see the point in having Super Nintendo World with the RIP ticket because you simply just don't have enough time to enjoy Super Nintendo World if you're doing RIP. You're spending at least, I say, 4 hours walking around in your tour and exploring the mazes. And by the time you're done with that, Nintendo World's not going to be available to you. I also forgot to mention, after your tour is over, you get to go through all the mazes as much times as you want in front of the line. It's an unlimited express ticket. So after your tour is done, for example, I selected my tour to be at 5 o'clock for opening day. I'm probably going to be done around, I predict, 10 o'clock. So from 10 to around 1 a.m., me and Rachel will have free roaming experience to go through whatever maze we want over and over again, which is fantastic. And lastly, we discovered this last year and didn't really take advantage of it, but the exclusive bar they usually have at the lower lot, last year it was the weekend bar experience. There's an exclusive bar off to the right side from the separate main bar, exclusively to RIP ticket holders. There are no lines in there. It's a nice lounge area. Walk up to the bartender, ask what you want. You don't gotta wait in lines because there is barely anyone in there. So if you're coming this year, if you're an RIP ticket holder, take advantage of that bar. All right, so a big perk to being a VIP member, RIP, I'm sorry. You get to ditch all of this and come down, this way to an RIP lounge, an exclusive bar and lounge right over here. Look how short that line is. compared to the one over here. Wow, huge perk. A whole empty dining lounge just for RIP. Look at this.
It's a specialty cocktail as well.
This is a huge perk to ditch that bar and have our own exclusive lounge with the bartender here. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for the updates for today. I was itching to come back and talk Last of Us because, man, oh man, I'm just, you already know I'm excited. Please let me know if you're excited, anxious, curious. I don't know. Tell me what you're feeling about this maze. But other than that, guys, until we get more meat on the bones, I'll be sure to come back, cover more updates around the park. And that we got Midsummer Screen to look forward to. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, thumbs up, comment down below, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already. You'll catch us talking at the next theme park. I am out of here.